episode of the Kane Campaign, but it's not the Kane Campaign because we're doing interludes, season break. Whoa! I'm David, your DM.
Yeah, spring break episodes. We're all wasted.
Well, sort of. Not really.
No, we're very serious about our interlude episodes.
Also, we don't get spring break anymore because we're adults.
Sure. Technically.
It's so sad. Anyway, we are bringing you tonight a Western-themed one-off adventure taking place in the magical wilderness of the Feywild, entitled The Magnificent Seven Dwarves. So let's go around, except we're calling it the Magnificent Four Dwarves because there are only 3 PCs in this group. So let's go around and introduce ourselves.
Hey, I am Steven, and I will be playing Carl Brunson, gnome. And if you guys know Charles Bronson, it's based off of him, but if you don't, it's chill.
No relation.
No relation.
I am Lauren, and I'll be playing Mabel, a 6-year-old gnome, and she's a very good shooter, and she throws temper tantrums. Very picky eater as well.
Well, that's a good thing that Cookie Stew Pot is here, because my gnome is an excellent gourmet trail chef. Which means that I pick up things off the side of the trail and I throw it in my special stew pot. I'm Patrick, by the way. You couldn't tell how I've absorbed into the character of Cookie.
You're getting far too much pleasure out of doing that voice.
I am indeed, David.
Well, anyway, so like I said, tonight we will be partaking in a Western-style adventure because the Feywild is an untamed wilderness, and it's been gifted to the Eladrin many, many years ago by the goddess Melora. And you all are going to be, you don't know too much about the Feywild at the moment. You're just sort of rough and tumble gnome types living in the wilderness, the wild woods of the elf nation.
Wild Woods?
The wild woods. Yeah.
Where the wild things are.
There are several wild things in these woods.
And we've been exploring just the normal vanilla world.
Yeah, you don't know too much, but you've been hearing tell about this Feywild. Some of your gnome brethren have been disappearing as of late, presumably off to colonize the Feywild for the good of the elves. And Cookie, one day you are approached by one of your good old friends.
Oh, hey, he's one of my good old friends.
That's right, Carmine Belvedere.
Carmine Belvedere. If I don't see you every sickle moon.
It's been quite a little while since I've seen you, Cookie, and gosh, it isn't great. It's not under good circumstances this time.
Oh, well, pull on up a stump and get yourself a big old ladle this here mash.
Thank you, Cookie. Listen, perhaps, do you have any... We need a place to talk, presumably with several of your friends around so that they can also hear what's going on. I got a job for 3 to 4 people, me included.
Well, that's some mighty specific requirements there, Carmichael. What
Carmine.
Carmine. I'll call you by your given name,
It's
Carmichael.
True. My mother always did call me Carmichael.
Yes, indeed. Now, what's this job entail?
Well, let me meet your friends real quick also.
All right, I'll holler for them. Mabel, Carl.
What do you want? Cookie.
Is it dinner time, Cookie?
It's always dinner time with Cookie. Now, pull up a plate of this tuba mash and listen on to Carmichael's offer of labor and work.
Not math again.
Are you saying tub of mash or
Tuber
tuber mash?
Tuber mash.
Like made from tubers.
Yes. Different tubers.
Big old tub of mash.
Assuming it was a tub, like a literal bathtub you drag along with you that you've been cooking
I
in.
fashioned this tuba into a tub for my tuba mash.
It's like a bread bowl at the Renaissance Fair.
Exactly.
Tuber bowl.
Well, hello, friend. My name's Carmine.
I've heard tell of you, Carmine.
Yeah, I've been around.
Yes.
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 Good. I've heard tell of you, Carl Ronson. Your unflappability is nigh on legend around these parts.
Yep.
He's an unflappy pappy.
Yep. Oh,
Damn for sure.
I haven't heard much about you, Mabel. You are just a young girl, after all. Not you long for this world. Nope. That means that you're gonna die. Not.
What's wrong with you, Carmine?
I've seen things.
We all gonna die one day, Carmine.
I've seen things too. My mom died in childbirth, so I
Oh.
just tag along with Cookie Stew Pot.
Wow, that's.
I've taken her under my stew pot. She is a fire maker and thus warms it.
All right. That's good to know. So, I've been I've been in the Feywild for several months now, journeying across the glass deserts. It's dangerous out there. There are many sandstorms. You can lose your mind out there. But there are some gnomes like us trying to make a living, trying to colonize, working on the teleprism, the line out there.
Well, sounds like a not very rewarding lifestyle.
It's hard, but it's for the future. They're doing the work of the elves. But, you know, they're gnomes.
Makes sense. But where do we come in there, Carmichael?
You want us to work on this teleprism?
No. There's a town there, a small shanty town called Frothport.
I know it.
You been to Frothport?
My wives have been there.
Multiple wives?
All 7.
It's an auspicious number of wives
I
for...
had 7 previous wives.
Yeah.
Not at once. I'm
Oh, okay.
not one of those types.
You're not a polygonome?
Gnome.
You answered my question correctly, and now I can continue telling you the secret that I was about to share.
Sharon.
Frothport, just a small town full of these workers, but it's been under attack by a local mob, bandits and the like, some sort of evil Iota man. His name's Iota. Or even if he is a he's some sort of beast made out of fire and steam.
Oh, well, that sounds like a campfire just waiting to be tamed. Every fire beast is a friend you haven't met yet. This is what Cookie Stew Pot always said. Just
Yep.
now.
Good. I'm glad to hear you're taking so kindly to this, because I've taken up friends. I found friends in that town of Frothport, and I would be mighty sad if something were to happen to them. So I promised them I'd go out and find us the best couple of gunslingers in the land. I figure we could take them down a notch, teach these bandits what for.
Well, you got my fatal ladle at your beck and call, Carmine, for all that help you ever gave me that one time.
Yes, that one time that we killed the god of hunger.
Yeah, that was fucking cool.
I had a suspicion that he was just an upset lunch lady.
Well,
But
it might have been, but that's in
everybody who's taller than us gnomes kind of looks like a god to me, but
it's in the dusty past now. We must go forward on to a bright and noble future.
what about you two? Either of you fixing for a fight?
I'm always fixing to fight.
I'm a sharpshooter when they let me have my gun.
Well, I think we should definitely let you have a gun is she
Oh,
is she good?
Yeah, she's quite the prodigy at bloody murder. But
You got a lot of anger boiling up in you.
yeah, it's terrifying.
Young Mabel.
Yeah, sometimes when I think about my parents and, when I think about being hungry and I don't like the mash.
That's fair. Well,
Yeah.
we
You
could
don't like my tuba mash?
Cookie, sometimes the mash, it's overcooked. E.
Oh, you're working my name into a job upon my character. And I weep into my mash, salting it with my
It's
tears.
too salty. I was gonna make you roll for salt, but I think we're past that.
You want to make me roll some con, David? Because I am ready to fucking cry my eyes out, literally.
Ow! How much do you have in con?
+6.
That's too much.
The only trait I have things in. Except for charisma, because of Cookie's natural, shining personality.
How could that have been overlooked? Well, Mabel, I'm sure we can find ourselves some food that's not mashed on the trail.
I just need some protein.
Yeah.
Probably have iron deficiency at this point or something.
You have quite the tragic backstory, Mabel, I must say.
But she
Thanks.
gives baddies a lead overdose. Ain't that right, Mabel?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh,
They
that
let me have my gun.
that means she shoots them. I see. I
Yeah.
did not understand.
Yes, it shoots lead, presumably. What? Our guns? How do they function once again?
Your guns may shoot lead, Cookie. Mine sure don't. I shoot snakes. Sometimes garden snakes. Sometimes poisonous snakes. I don't know. It's random.
So you
Got a
just
big
have
old sack of snakes.
It's just a fucking bag full of snakes.
Yep.
And like
It
a-
reaches in and throws at people.
Snake bag attached to a rifle.
The snake just gets stretched out inside.
I heard tell about your fabled snake bags.
Yeah.
Bag of snakes.
Ain't no one ever stopped me from shooting snakes. Oh yeah.
They tried to. Them rattlers come in and
Is that some sort of snake themed gang?
no, a bunch of rattlers trying to come back for their kin.
Their friends and
Yep.
family? What done snatched up into a bag for use as artillery?
I try not to put the rattlers into the snake sack. The rattles always give me away.
That's some wisdom we'll need on the
Goddamn,
trail.
more like tattlers what they are.
Good one, Cookie.
Cookie.
Thank you. I need to have to job against my cookie.
Well, I tell you what, it sounds like we'll be able to help these poor folks in Frothport. Let's hitch up.
I got one question though.
Oh, good.
What's the payment?
Oh, we do this out of the kindness of our heart.
Maybe
Carl.
you do. Maybe you do, Cookie. But Carl needs snakes.
Mabel needs opiates.
Opiates.
She got opiate addiction.
Oh.
It's real bad.
It's all of our fault, really.
Yeah. I was about to say, it seems like the two of you are complicit in this, not very...
Where you found a little orphan child who won't eat mash.
Did she provide her own opiates in the...
At the time, yeah.
The only thing my mom left for me when she died.
Was her death
Case.
related to opiate overdose?
No one's told me.
That's probably for the best. Tell you what, Mabel. I am honestly unsure as to whether they're opiates. There's a bunch of wild magic in the Feywild. Perhaps you could use some of that wild magic to give you a high, similar to opioids.
That sounds nice, thanks.
Yeah, I feel very strange about talking to a child about drugs, but there you go.
She's wise beyond her years because of the period of addiction and all.
That's
And the
fair.
killing.
And the kid, all the kid.
Okay. Wait, but Carl, as for snakes, do you accept payment in snakes, or were you insinuating that you needed some sort of coin with which to buy snakes?
I accept payment in snakes. Yes.
All right. Well, perhaps we can find some snakes. I heard tell that some of the henchmen of Iota are some elemental snakes, some sort of water snakes and earth snakes and
Ooh.
storm snakes and the like.
He never caught me no storm snakes.
They're shocking.
Good one.
There you go.
Well, about time we started in the trail, I've packed up my stew pot, and it's got like my suspenders have like a ton of room in the back, and then the stew pot goes in behind my suspenders, and I have my ladle ready to hand to fling mash into the eyes of
It's
evildoers.
just like a catapult at this point.
Yep, mobile artillery / lunchroom.
All right, well, once we get to the Feywild, we can mount up. I wasn't able to bring the unicorns through the portal, but
Why not?
customs.
Yeah. It's tough to get a unicorn ID when in a pinch.
I know. Their paw prints all look the same. Nope, hoof prints. They have hooves.
You ain't never seen a unicorn before, have you?
No, I swear, I have.
Bucket of lies.
Better than your mash. But I'm just trying to be cool in front of these two. They don't seem to like your mash very much, Cookie. I always liked it.
Carmine, why don't you stop with the hurtful words and get us on the next bird out of here? I just have to lock up the mouse. There's a mouse with like a little door, a little enchanted door mouse. And that's
Why? What is this mouse doing?
We've
Let
been
him
living in.
explain
That's what we live in.
what's
Is
happening.
our dormouse.
You live in the mouse. Okay.
Yep. And it's a little mouse on the prairie.
In what part of the mouse do you live? You live on the intestines of a
waist.
mouse? Are you a complicit in this?
I don't live in the mouse.
Oh, well, it's Cookie's mouse. It's me and Belial.
Belial the mouse.
Yep.
How's a gnome live in a mouse?
Oh, what a dark occult pact. It's a portal.
That you
to-
made with the mouse.
Yes.
It's called a renter's agreement.
Yes, it's a condo kind of sort of thing.
All right. Anyway, let's go hit the trail, and
Click,
Car-
click.
Carmine leads you through some forests to a gnarled old oak that looks like it's probably several hundred years old, and he wraps his fist in succession upon 3 old knots in the tree, and the roots sort of writhe underneath the ground and open up what looks like a small tunnel that leads beneath the tree. But to you guys, it's honestly like you'd have to get on your knees, but it'd be nice and roomy once you get on your knees to climb through. He goes,
There's a
well,
real small hole there, Carmine.
yeah, for real small folks who don't want to be seen going in and out of the Feywild.
Good thing with gnomes.
Good thing
Yep.
I'm small.
Yeah, even for a gnome, you are rather small.
Yeah.
Lead the way, Mabel.
All right.
And you crawl on through, and the slowly the ground underneath your hands becomes less and less damp and earthy peat, that sort of feeling, and it starts almost like scratching at your hands, and you realize that it's turned into very coarse sand that's like almost like little tiny shards of glass. And you're crawling through. I should have warned you. You should wear gloves, by the way.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you
guys.
should've.
As he has gloves on and is like being totally fine.
Yeah, do you guys need any gloves?
Oh, I've
here.
got snake gloves.
Very nice gloves.
Shove your hands up into 2 snakes.
Yep. Sorry,
Hey.
snakes.
Cookie dumps a big old wad of mash onto 2 things of sand and then sticks his hands into those globs of wet dirt and gooey mush. And
Now
then,
you have like sand boxing gloves,
Yep.
essentially.
I used to drag myself forward.
My hands hurt.
Sorry, Mabel. Perhaps you can use that rage to fury some sort of bloodlust later.
Okay.
I suppose. And you emerge. You obviously you have crawled through some sort of extra dimensional portal. Because you are not underground. You emerge in what looks almost like the world, but if it were a black velvet painting. All of the lights are very strange. The sky is just like sort of a bright purple color that's like emanating light, and the ground underneath you sort of emanates a warm orange amber color. The sand that appears to stretch on for miles is just the same coarse sand that you had crawled in on. But awaiting you as you walk in, or as you stand up and right yourselves, are 4 unicorns that are appropriately sized for gnomes. Ponycorns. Because, I must admit, we are somewhat small. Can't all ride.
So how tall is a gnome? Like 2 feet?
3 feet?
3
maybe,
feet?
Yeah, we'll say 3 feet max.
I said these like real small unicorns.
Yeah, they're like miniature ponycorns.
All right.
Yeah,
What-
you get
I
on-
will name you. Would they have a name already?
Well, I named them because I got a little bit attached to all 4 of them. But you name them, and I'll tell you if you got the name right.
An awfully core way to name a unicorn, boy.
All right, I named it Johnny after my brother Johnny. That I admit it's not a great ponycorn name.
All right, Johnny.
No, you can name it a different name. It's fine.
Nope, I will now perform the traditional gnomish domination dance of a unicorn mount. And I take, more firmly sit my pointy conical gnome cap, and then I offer it to the unicorn and, bat it against its horn in a threatening manner.
Cool. It looks, roll animal handling.
I wish to dominate it. I got a 9.
It sort of huffs in your face, and you get a nice hot face full of ponycorn breath that smells like vaguely like oats.
This will be a rivalry of sorts.
Is that not what is ponycorn?
We'll see it, Jenny.
Yeah. You mentioned your hat. I suppose we should sort of take a moment to describe if you guys have any broad ideas what you look like.
Well, Cookie's a pot-bellied gnome with a stew pot suspender to his back.
To
And,
sort of balance him out.
yeah, and like a fairly squat conical hat atop him, and with a long straggly beard of different kinds and colors. And he uses their spice beard. He's got an enchanted spice beard where he can cut off one piece and it's cinnamony, and another part and it's cardamom.
That's gross, but awesome. Mabel, you got any traits?
Yeah, I have 2 braids every day that go on both sides of my head. And I have a couple freckles, probably
couple.
from my sun exposure. And I have very good eyesight with my amber-colored eyes. And my favorite thing to wear is overalls.
Good. Everyone's kind of wearing overalls. I suppose suspenders aren't
My
overalls.
suspenders to like a bare chest and like just like gray formless pants.
Aren't overalls really just suspenders and pants combined?
But
Yeah.
it's
Kind
got
of
more
like
give.
a bib. There's a bib too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it comes over.
So you have the bib going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
have
I
a bib,
do.
which is kind of
Suspenders cover
gross.
my gnome nipples.
Great. Thanks for that flavor.
I got a denim jacket, denim pants, and denim shoes. They're all the same color, acid washed. And I got a big bushy mustache. And I'm old and super fit.
Super fit.
Super fit and old.
That's a good way to
As
be.
fit as I'm old.
the logical
Yes.
apex between old
When I
and
die, I'll be
fit.
the fittest I've ever been.
And so Carmine Belvedere is dressed in the traditional button-down shirt and chaps type leather chaps.
Gnomes wear chaps?
Well, cowboys wear chaps.
Oh.
Yeah, the traditional
Fair enough.
gnomish garb. But he is wearing a pointed 10-gallon hat type scenario. And so he jumps up on his ponycorn and he goes, "All right, we gotta head due east for about a mile or two, and this town will come into view. See that?" And he points off into the distance, and you see like essentially what looks like an old water tower, like the old water towers they had in the Wild West.
Mhm.
But instead, where like the big thing of water should be, it looks like there's some sort of like glass or crystal or something shining. It's like a beacon almost, like a lighthouse. And he points to that. He goes, "But you gotta stay in line of the siphon there, or else you're liable to get sucked up by the magic." So,
Ooh.
That's a new danger you've once again didn't warn us about.
I warned you of the wild magic around here. It's
In a vague sort of way, yes.
well, I told you it'd be a dangerous job. If you want, you can go right back through the hole here.
That's all right. I need the
It's
snakes.
Right, it hurts my eyes.
Well, do you want some shades? I got
Or
leaves.
some opium?
Yes.
You've been holding out on the opium cookie.
Well, I thought I'd share some for a special occasion.
for her birthday.
It is her birthday that we know of.
Yeah, we arbitrarily decided that today was your birthday.
Ah.
Happy birthday. Here's one of them gnome made.
Are you trying to think of an open gnome?
No,
pun?
no, just it's gnome made and home baked, and there's opium sprinkles on top of this here mush cookie.
Thanks.
Beard flavored.
So you don't control your supply of opium then?
No, because they're like my guardians. So they supply my guns and my opium.
Keeps her effective.
Yeah.
Keep her focused.
So it is like a reward for me. So it probably keeps my temper in check to know that I have opium at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's like,
If
are
we're
you-
gonna let her loose in the pursuit of murder, we always drug her up good first.
I gotta say, this...
You saying it out loud makes it sound wrong. Cookie.
We've been doing it for so long,
It's
though.
true. I just never thought of it that way.
It's just kind of going on passe, you know.
I gotta
I've
say,
known no other life besides this.
I'm
No
starting
other
to...
life.
Starting to regret perhaps choosing this team as well.
Oh,
Just
you made a mistake. It's too late.
play nice with the townsfolk when we get there, and
This is the moment where we have the last discussion of whether we're gonna do this, and it's the guide who looks back.
yes. But you journey across the desert. You feel the sharp sand hit your face every now and then, and you hear like lightning crackle off in the distance and like the rumble, like just vague rumbles of wind and the earth shaking almost, but it doesn't quite affect you. The immediate area seems very, very stable. The other thing you notice is that there's no like temperature. It's the same temperature as your body. Like you feel you're not quite sure where your body ends and the outer space begins. Not outer space, you know what I mean.
The space outside of
Sounds
you.
unsettling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
My cookie stew pot ain't boiling as it's supposed to. The air's wrong.
also there's a bunch of sand in it now.
Hey, it's good for the grits.
Yeah.
Making grits.
Sharpen your teeth
Yeah.
on it. Yep. Anyway, as you approach the town, it comes into view that tower with the crystal upon it that you saw earlier is like the central part of the town. And actually, as you look off into the distance, you can see way off into the distance sort of other what look like probably towns with these crystal towers, each one demarcating it. But this town is a stilt town. And so like all of the buildings are built upon like 20-foot high stilts.
Because it's flooding.
But there doesn't appear to be any flood around. Like at the moment it's just sand as far as the eye can see. And so as you walk into town, there are people sort of going from place to place. Gnomes walking between the building are doing so on big 20-foot high stilts, creating quite a comedic image. And as you do, you hear, as you come into town, you hear someone shout, "Hey, travelers, there are new people in the town! Oh, you get the sheriff! Oh!" And
Mighty height conscious and afraid of strangers these folk are.
yeah, they're afraid of strangers because every stranger they met in here in the Feywilds tried to burn them alive or drown them alive or bury them alive or do other such things to them alive till they're dead.
Oh, well, we'll soon fix that. I'll serve up a big old mess of stew to all the townsfolk and win their trust and adoration.
Okay, I suppose that could help. And he whistles, he sticks his two fingers between his mouth and he gives a whistle. And poking his head out of a nearby, it looks like the sheriff pokes his head out and he goes, "Well, hey there! I didn't realize Carmine would be back so soon. He brought help!" And then he climbs out of his window and he gets on his stilts and he waddles over to you. Hello there, new strangers.
Hello, my name's Carl.
Sorry, I can't hear you all the way down there. Marlene, get him some stilts.
Why don't you get off those goddamn stilts and talk to me like a real gnome?
We need the stilts when the floods come.
Ah, there's flooding.
Yeah.
Well, so where do we get some stilts then?
Well, I admit, Marlene's got them. Honey, get bringing the stilts. And a tiny gnome comes out, trying to balance on her two stilts while carrying four other sets of stilts
That's quite the feat.
on her shoulder. Yeah, you gotta use your feet. And Marlene goes, "Ooh, here are the stilts for you, nice folks. Honey," and she points to Mabel. "Do you need some booster stilts?"
Yeah, I guess so.
But give us some
Seems
special-
like the difference between a gnome that is 6 inches high and one that is several feet would be not that much after 20 feet on a stilt.
Well, it's true, but we gotta make sure she's got the proper arch support.
This doesn't really seem like a habitable place to live, considering you have to walk on stilts all day.
Yeah, why don't you move?
Well, we can't move. We were sent here by the elves to excavate and pioneer this strange wilderness.
Oh, the elves? Well, the cookie never held with no elves. They're untrustworthy superior types.
They do think themselves awful superior to us lowly gnomes, perhaps because of our height disparity. But would that they could see us now on these stilts. Ooh-wee.
So this town, does it look like it is prosperous, or are they like beaten down?
No,
and
they're beaten down. They off.
the stilts are all they have left.
So off. Now you see that there are several like groups of workers sort of swarming around the tower with the crystal on it, and actually it looks like they're laying some sort of mirror system along the ground, like to reflect the light from the glowing crystal just along towards off in the distance. You see the other crystal, so it looks like they're trying to set up some sort of communication or something between these two towers. She goes, and the wife Marlene says, "Yeah, we're here setting up the teleprism line so that the elves can come in later and build their cities."
Well, I can't abide elves taking advantage of gnomish folk, but I also can't abide gnomish folk going hungry. So pulling me up another pair of stilts for my stew pot, and I'll feed the whole town a mess of mash.
"Well, you're gonna let some people go hungry. I bet you will." And you see coming in from the distance, shut up, coming in from the distance are some rivals, ponycorns with their own stilts on. So,
Hello, Window.
Yo, I'm Window.
Yes, you are, and you've been called a visionary.
Really?
Jazzy Aces 808 gave RP Gentleman 5 stars and had this to say: "Whoa, whoa, whoa. Maybe."
Cool.
Care to respond?
I know.
Well,
Yep.
that's to you, Jazzy Aces. Take that to heart. I'm here. And am I Dapperton or am I Patrick's announcer voice? It's hard to tell at this point. We've become one. And we're here with just me and Window, a gruesome twosome, to answer your week's trash bags. But, Window, as much as this is our quick look at you behind the scenes before we get started with Season 4,
Ooh.
this is not all about you. Because hey, it's one of our patrons.
Oh.
So, thank you. Something higher pitched, though. A sign of great respect in the Window culture.
Yes.
And that patron that we have to shout out tonight is Anthony Pascone, the adored lord of the Horde of Gourds.
Ooh.
Yes, and our gourds feel safer at night knowing that Anthony is out there lording over them.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, Window, I hope you don't mind. We're just gonna ruffle around in your trash bags real quick. Yeah. Oh, that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's a good touch. Don't worry about it.
Sure.
And here we've got a letter tossed in the trash from
no.
Jonathan Jagger, who wants to know our favorite classes to play. And Window, what would you say is your favorite class?
Window.
That's what I figured. But I also have a list of ones that I've prepared for the other people in our party who are not here. And David's is a mathomancer. Shard is a dungeon master's first-class bastard because he's constantly brown-nosing. And Dan, of course, is a serial slayer. Moving on. I hope you didn't want like an actual answer where we talked about the mechanics of gameplay, Jonathan.
Why?
Yeah. But this week, this is what you get. Moving on, Kenneth Starr is playing a villain campaign.
Ooh.
And as we have some experience with, he wants a big castle and he tips for it. And I suggested that villains wouldn't share a castle. Villains would each have their own. So, atop some mountain peak with as many peaks as there are players in your party, perhaps if there are 5, you could form something vaguely resembling a giant's hand with a castle atop each finger, and they could meet in the palm to scheme, but rather than spend any ill-gotten gains on magical trinkets, they spend them on exterior decorating to try and one-up each other in villainous fortresses.
Maybe bees.
I thought that Window might have some tips for them. They're thinking, but what if they need a nemesis, a good player? Who could stand up against such villains?
Window? Not Simon.
Not Simon. Simon would probably join them. So
Yes.
maybe what your villains need is something that all of their villainy can't get them. Acclaim. They've got a hero that faces against them who has the love of the people, just as Window does. And they have to erode his popular support before they can kill him.
Oh, maybe.
Yes. And Window, given your vow of selective silence,
Yep.
for this last one, from Tem Wayland, he wants cool apocalypse ideas for different realities.
Ooh.
And I thought the best way for Window to give his input would be Mad Lib style. So I prepared one for you if you're ready.
Yeah, yes.
All right. So, in a world without
Bees.
the only hope for survival is...
Bees.
And you'd better hold on to your
Bees.
because it's about to get
Windy.
yes. So I hope that helps them, and I hope you continue to listen after this interlude. If you would like to get some much better quality suggestions next week when we're all together again, you can hit us up on Facebook /RPGentleman. Twitter, we have the name @RPGentleman, and our website, of course, www.rpgentleman.com. And if we can follow us on any of them. You can send us messages via any of those channels with your trash bag questions or your requests for
Window.
some type of window-related shout-out. Thank you, Anthony Bascode, our newest patron. Of course, if you'd like to donate to us, you can always go to the rpgentleman.com/donate. That is it for this week. I am Patrick/Dap, and I need to go lie down for a while.
Because the audio quality in the rest of this episode takes a bit of a dip, because we experienced critical mic failure rolls and had to switch to David's single mic backup system. The shame.
Window.
Goodbye.
And off in the distance, you see galloping towards the town another group of ponycorns on stilts racing unevenly across, but that surprisingly well, given how weird it would be that ponycorns would have stilts on anyway. But they're mounted with riders with strange bandito masks on, and what are those called? Bandanas. Are bandanas named after bandits?
Maybe, or maybe the other way around.
Because they wear bandanas. Anyway, they're wearing bandanas, and one of them yelled from really far away, "You're going to be hungry in the town.
Oh,
You're not
no.
going to feed the town." And,
Cookie, you best hide the stew.
And the sheriff goes, "Oh, that's what those are. The bandits would have been messing up our town, stealing all of our magic-resistant devices, causing the town to be full of magic."
Well, no more, Mr. Sheriff, the mayor.
The sheriff. I'm
Mayor-
also the
Mayor
mayor.
Sheriff.
It's true.
Sheriff.
My name is Mayor, and I'm the sheriff.
All right, Sheriff Mayor. With the cookie pot will get this solved.
Will it?
We call ourselves the cookie pot.
He calls us the cookie
I
pot.
call us the cookie pot.
Carmine, is this true? And Carmine says, yes, that is. We are the cookie pot now. It's always been true. be for real, guys. Now's our time to shine.
All right, well, I done mix up a mash of the sweet and spicy chilies. And I shaved the whole left half of my face, which is where the spicy beard is.
Does it regrow fast or just at the rate of a normal beard?
It regrows quicker if I brew up my beard potions.
That's why you're so sparing with your spices,
Yeah.
because it takes a long time to regrow.
But for this fracas, I'm gonna shave off the half of my beard with a straight razor, and then throw it all in the stew pot behind my back and wait for it to start bubbling and brewing.
Oh, all right, Cookie. That seems like a good plan.
Can I roll to make an extra special chili of death?
Yeah, so roll your wisdom to cook up some good stew. All right, Carmine and Mabel.
Carl.
Carl, I'm sorry. Sorry, my name's Carmine. I got a little bit self-egocentric for a moment. We gotta stop these bandits.
So, should we meet him on the outskirts of town?
Is it time to get the guns?
I
It
think
is
Mabel
time.
probably needs her guns.
Yes.
I like the
Oh,
guns.
well, I'll break out this sack of gun holding. A lot of holding sacks and stew pots.
A gun rack of holding.
Yeah, a gun rack of holding, and it's like on the back of the stew pot. There's like mounted like you would be on a dashboard or behind a windshield, whatever they do in the South. But behind a stew pot, and if you pull out a gun, then another gun appears there.
It's like those parking garages in Tokyo that are like on a thing.
Yeah, but it comes from nowhere and it goes to nowhere, so you can
They're
flip
like-
through shelves.
They're like elevator
Elevator?
garages
Yeah.
in Tokyo.
Yeah, like in Mission Impossible.
Like in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Mabel, you got your guns.
I got my guns.
I think I like your idea, Carl. We're gonna go out. We're gonna meet them on the outskirts of town.
Yes.
We could trip them up. They're on very high stilts.
Yeah, and I'll trip him with my snakes.
You snakes, do they eat stilts?
They've been known to.
One
I can't
steak,
tell.
one stilt.
But I can't
I
tell
see
the
it in
snakes.
action.
I can't tell the snakes what to do once they're out of the sack.
It's pretty scarring if they go after you instead.
Sometimes they decide to go after Mabel, but I
Yeah.
put those snakes into place.
Are those snakes also addicted to opiates?
Some of them.
Keeps them docile.
Hee-yah! Giddy up! And he smacks his pony corn and he rides off towards to meet the banditos.
Forward, Johnny.
Yeah!
That's the
Your horse
unicorn.
says hee-yah.
All right, we'll whip him up, and the dust trail follows us as we go to meet these banditos.
As you get closer, you can see that some of the bandits actually appear to be some snakes riding on top of pony corns, but made
Wrapped
out of
around their corns.
yes, wrapped around their corns. But like I said, some of them appear to be made out of like the various elements, like fire, earth, water, etc.
Are there some that aren't snakes?
There are some that aren't snakes.
And
They
they
look to be
are-
just gnomes. Honestly, the leader of the pack looks to be larger than a gnome, maybe like a wood elf or something. So one of those haughty elves types. Hey, what? And he speaks out from behind his bandana. He's wearing a big 10-gallon, a bigger hat than Carmine is, and he goes, "What are you doing here, you gunslingers?
We're here to protect Frothport.
You weren't here before.
Good observation.
What do you want with this town? Join up with us. Join up with Iota, and he will gift unto you all the spoils that you can carry."
I don't work with elves.
Does he have opiates?
Does he have opium?
He does, I think.
It is a false opium. The opium of the devil is much worse than the opium of the gnome lord. Cookie is a strong believer, and I'm serving up a big old batch of killer chili.
Is your name Cookie?
No.
Do you refer to yourself in the third person?
Cookie gets his fatal ladle and he scoops up a big old batch of the
spicy stew.
the spicy mash, and whips it at the stilts to try and sear through them and burn them so that they fall into the dust.
Of the leader.
Yeah.
Okay, I suppose it would be sort of a cone.
Yeah,
Cone spray.
AoE attack.
Okay, so roll your attack. Also, Lauren, for the notes, stew mash. No, what did you say?
Killer chili.
Spicy mash. Good band name. Anyway, please continue. What did you roll?
I rolled a natural 20.
Holy shit!
Whoa.
You get all of every single one. It looks like a pack of about maybe 7.
It's like the chunk of stew hits the ground and then melts all the sand around it, so it's like a pool of liquid glass that they're all sinking into.
And they just go bloop, 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 until they are eye to eye with you standing. Except the elf jumps off of his ponycorn,
leaving it to die horribly.
leaping in to try to actually land upon. He sees that Mabel has the biggest gun and he tries to land on what appears to be the easy target, and
They
he'll
thought incorrectly.
he actually misses and falls off next to your ponycorn and breaks his leg and goes, "Oh God, my leg! Quick, banditos, we ain't got time for this. Take out the spectra of the tower." And his banditos sort of swarm around you. They're going to try to take pot shots at you as they fly past, so this is going to be against each of you.
Is it time to shoot now?
Yes!
Are we rolling initiative or what?
Well, we'll use the initiative that we rolled before the game. All right, so that's going to be a hit against Carl Ronson. Mabel, they're going to actually miss around you because it looks like they're trying not to hit their leader on the ground. And the Cookie, coming at you are 2 banditos that are actually going to try to bowl into you and take your soup bowl from you.
Oh, these boys want to play filthy, where Cookie's been filthy since the day he was born.
So let's do a strength contest.
Oh, are you sure this isn't a constitution? Some type of, as if I'm bearing up under their weight. I feel as if it might be.
Sure, even though I'm pretty sure that's not what Constitution is, but...
Cookies makes himself as a stone.
All right. I got a 9.
It's a 25.
Well, yep, there you go. So
You bounce off my ample gnome stomach.
Boing. And
Back into the glass with you.
And they were just 2 little snakes made out of water and wind, so they didn't have much pull around you. They slither off towards the town, and you hear the shrieks from the town as the bandits ride through. Yeehaw! Yeah! And you hear some what sounds like screams, but also like orders coming from the top of the tower with the crystal on it as they try to fight off the bandits. You guys can have one more action.
I'm gonna shoot my snake gun and take out with some of the snakes.
The bandits at the top of the
At
tower?
the stilts, have them wrap around the stilts and trip them over.
All right.
Even though I don't condone snake-on-snake violence.
Just snake on other people's violence.
That's a 12.
Well, so you're able
Plus something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, plus 7.
Oh.
So, 19.
19.
Yeah, so perfect. You're able to get one of the snakes. Snake-on-snake violence does occur, even though you...
It's indirect.
Is it?
Sure, the snake that didn't attack the snake, it attacked the snake's stilts.
All right, so, but the one snake that was made out of what looked like storm clouds, just a white puffy snake, falls into the sands and actually begins melting away and evaporating in the hot melting glass of the sands.
That's why we don't touch the sand. Duly noted.
And Mabel, the broken-legged bandit next to you goes, "You'll all rue the day that you crossed Iota. He'll come for you himself. He'll take this town apart, you little girl."
Sorry, mister. Maybe you'll have better luck next time.
Shoots him in the face. Like,
That's actually very kind of you to say, little girl.
Can I shoot him now?
yeah, oh yes.
We could have shooted him a long time ago.
She's gonna shoot me.
Yeah,
All right, roll your D20 there.
19.
Christ. Yep, right
dead.
in the face.
That explodes.
Considering its point blank range, is this one of the guns that just blows people's heads up? I know you've got a lot of them.
You
Yep.
get covered in his viscera and
Just
blood.
like a huge blunderbuss that she like gets shot off at an angle, firing.
Yeah, actually, you fly
Rocket
up
away.
towards the tower now, and you're actually
Knock another one screaming off.
yeah. Now you're at the top of the spectral tower, and you see the bandits aren't actually at the top of the tower. They're actually at the bottom, and they've begun trying to cut through the wooden legs that are supporting the tower.
That's really not good.
Yeah. Well, you gotta help us, ma'am. What, little girl? They're trying to knock the tower over. If they do, we'll be subjected to the wild magic of the land.
Well, luckily I have a different gun that's not gonna rocket me away from here. I'm just gonna try and shoot him with the handgun.
It shoots hands?
Yeah.
Monster
God.
hands that just grab people's faces.
He just flicks them off.
Pokes him in the eye.
It's like the Three Stooges gun. No, but go ahead and roll. The one on the ground that you knocked off is going to try to land gracefully.
I got an 8.
An 8. A hand comes out and actually grabs right past one of the burly looking gnomes, the burliest gnome who's trying to chop down through the wooden, but it grabs the hat off his head, but he's fine and he keeps chopping. You have to do more than that, little girl. I got 3 like you at home. I'm teaching them to be bandits, just like me.
So don't feel bad if you kill me and rob my family of the caregiver.
But so one of the legs gets cut through, and the tower begins leaning back and forth in the breeze.
Lean back. Sorry.
That song plays on the wind. Enjoy that editing, Patrick.
God damn it.
But you have an action, and then Carl has an action.
Cookie is gonna throw in one of his extra special spices and a good dollop of gnome butter. And he flips his pot upside down and sits on it as it starts to rumble and stuff starts to leak out the sides. And then it goes, cook a stew pot, and fires off toward the tower.
The famous cookie stew cannon.
Yeah.
Roll wisdom to try to make your stew pot fire in a good direction, or dexterity if you want to try to aim it properly.
I aim it precisely with a 13.
It is, you fly actually
through one of the supporting beams.
Yeah, exactly. Through one of the beams. Now the tower in the wind is blowing wildly, and Mabel, roll to hang on. Roll yourself a constitution, or a strength if you have it.
7.
7. Mabel begins falling. You fall backwards over the rail. Well, Mabel, no! Shouts Margaret.
I want to say.
I can't remember her name. Sorry, everybody. But she's, as you fall slow motion, somebody save Mabel! And you would have an action there, Carl.
All right, so I'm on stilts still, right?
You're on your pony corn if you want.
All right. So, can I use my snakes to stabilize the tower and make like a snake beam or 2 snake beams?
Snake ropes.
Tie it together with
use the
snakes.
The tensile strength is high on the snakes.
That won't save me from falling.
Well, I'll send. Can I do both of them?
You can.
Can I send the ponycorn to
Shoot a snake orang that like flies through the air, grabs her, and like flies back.
Yeah, you're trying to send your ponycorn to like jump up and catch her safely. All right, I like that. That happens automatically,
Sweet.
but you got to talk to these snakes. Get them to what exactly are you trying to get these snakes to do? Because they are looking at you very.
You gotta be strong and hold up the water tower. I know that you have the snake power. Snakes, look in my eyes. You know it to be true.
It's the reverse. Instead of snakes hypnotizing you, you hypnotize the snakes.
Yeah.
And you shoot them out of your guns, and they wrap around. So go ahead and roll either a charisma or a dexterity.
Snake charming.
Because either.
Oh!
Is that good or bad?
It's bad.
It's real bad.
Your snakes.
No dice.
Your snakes miss wide.
Maybe I shouldn't have kept them all in that sack for so long.
And they actually.
Wrinkly snakes with beards.
Yeah.
They actually fly off and hit the supports of the town.
And knock the other 2 off?
Well, one of them hits that support. It starts falling. The tower is now falling for real hardcore. Actually coming very close to where the dying leader elf is laying. So it's going to actually fall and crash on him.
Killing him?
Yes. Presumably. You don't know. It's a very heavy crystal.
So this is like a huge tower of crystal, right?
Yeah, like 100 feet high. And the supports are all out of wood, but there's just a big, like, water tower shaped crystal at the top.
All right. So can Cookie brew up just like the stickiest mash, some type of glue stew, and just ladle it on thick, and then he yells to Carl, "Oh, Carl!
Yes.
Shoot me one of them boa constrictors!" And I want to wrap around while I stick into the glue and try to hold up the tower with pure portliness alone.
Sure. That'll be a hell of a strength check. I'll let you know.
Alrighty. That's a 16?
You are, like, holding on for dear life. You're, like, for just a moment, you're like, yes, this is working. I'm going to be the best. Everyone's going to love me and they'll love my mash.
Yes.
And then it starts to careen over, and you can keep holding on if you want, or you can let go and be fine.
Nope. Cookie Stew Pot always sees a recipe for destruction through to the end.
And it's like you're riding the atomic bomb from the end of Doctor Strangelove down towards the ground as there's a huge smack and a splat as it crushes the elf underneath, and he goes, ah!
Ouch.
I was evil anyway!
That's good.
Yeah. And,
Weight off my mind.
But you actually are going to have to make a dexterity saving throw to not, like, smack your face as
Not
you
go
fall.
splat.
13.
You get a little bit of a broken nose, but other than that, you're
My
doing-
gnome nose.
Yep, your gnome nose is doing okay.
Oh, well, at least we killed the bandit leader, right, Mayor Sheriff?
And Carmine sidles over on his ponycorn. The mayor stilts over to you. Well, that was the bandit second in command, I do say, but we got other bigger problems on our hands now, boys. And what, were you going to say something?
No.
Because we got other bigger problems on our hands.
Water's coming. No.
There's a big rumbling noise
Oh, yes.
from the south as you see like just a bright light. It's shimmering and you're not quite sure what it is. You think it's the crystal, but actually it's a tidal wave of the glass sand coming for you, and it's coming straight for the town. Oh God!
So what do you do in these type of situations? You just die.
We set up the arcane siphons here to, get rid of all the magic that makes the sands do this. Now I'm not sure what we'll do.
Well, Cookie might have an answer for you if you don't mind an old gnome's homely advice.
We don't mind it.
Does it involve cooking up stuff?
No, this little opium fiend's got a hole in her heart 10 miles wide, and she can suck the magic straight out of the air into her tiny, fragile frame. She's trying to fill the loss of her parents with wild sorcery.
I didn't know about that.
It's not something I utilize often.
It doesn't come up a lot, strangely.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that she is going to suck all the wild magic into her body so that it will not be manifested in some sort of giant tidal wave destroying the town?
Entirely possible. What you think there, Mabel?
Yeah, I can do that, I guess. Do I have more opium at
Oh,
the end
yeah.
of the day if I do it?
Well,
So much opium.
wild sorcery's like the opium of the elements.
Great. I have a big hole in my heart to fill because I miss my mom and dad.
And we can fill it with horrifying magical sorcery.
All right. So I was not expecting this, but now, hey, I will go ahead and roll on the wild magic surge table to see what sort of things happen to you, Mabel.
Okay.
Also, like, in what sort of
She's
way?
just standing out
Yeah,
in
how
front
are-
of the wave.
How are you
That's a great
attempting to
little girl.
absorb all this magic?
I stand there with my arms out and I think of my saddest point in my life.
Oh God. Do you want to share what that is, or we could? I don't know. Might be too sad. If it's too.
When I realized that my mom was dead and my dad was dead and that they were both not coming back.
Did you know? So you didn't
I
know.
could have guessed, probably.
Should have known.
You didn't.
Should have known.
So you didn't know your mom, right? She died in childbirth.
Yeah.
Did you know your dad?
I thought I did, but then someone
Turned out he was
like-
a bastard.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't my dad, and then he left and he didn't come back one day. And then I found Cookie on the side of the street, and he made me mash.
Yeah, that's the entire backstory. In all its grim logic.
Okay. Well, so the first thing that happens to you, actually, go ahead and roll an intelligence check real quick.
13.
13. Okay, so only 3 wild magic things are gonna happen to you.
Okay.
First, your height increases
Mm.
by 17 inches. So like a little
In a growth
over
spurt.
Yeah.
a little over 1.5 feet, or a little less than 1.5 feet. So that's weird, which is pretty impressive. Then you also, for the next minute, you can teleport up to 20 feet whenever you want, basically.
That's really cool.
But that's only for a minute. But it'll be very useful since you're about to get crushed by a wave.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what a madron is.
Make something up.
But it's a giant bear.
How ever did you come up?
No, but it's a bear with tentacles for ears.
Excellent.
What's it do?
It shows up within
It's
5.
saying, guys.
It shows up within 5 feet of you, and it looks at your sad face, and it bends down so that it's at eye height with you, and it wraps you with its tentacle ears in a huge hug and goes, "It's okay.
A tentacle teddy bear.
Bear friend here. Hi, Mabel.
He knows your name.
Friend,
I'm your new friend now.
you're gonna stay with me forever, right?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people leave me.
Okay.
It's a lot to lay on a bear.
Sweetheart. I'm just bear friend.
Oh, Mabel, your imaginary bear friend has been brought into corporeal reality by the wonders of magic.
He was never imaginary. Now you just see him. I was always able to see him.
That's right. Bear friend says it's true.
Well, bear friend, not to doubt the veracity of your claims, but there's a mighty tidal wave a-coming.
And as the mighty tidal wave approaches, Mabel, still with her arms out,
Parts it.
yeah, like Moses parting the Red Sea. It just passes by on either side of Frothport, and
Can Cookie fill up his stew pot with this raw glass of magic?
sure.
So he quickly dumps out what's left of his current stew.
Why? Why not just mix it right in?
Because this is wild and untapped sorcery, fool! And he dips his fatal ladle into the passing goop. Does it do anything to it?
I mean, it turns the ladle into like the back leg of a frog, but
Excellent. Good crop. And then he scoops it up with the webby part of the frog's fist and fills up.
the back leg of a frog.
Well, frog's foot.
Yeah, they
Either
don't make
way.
fists with their back legs.
They might. In frog boxing. Froxing.
And the sheriff runs up to you, Mabel, and goes, "Mabel, my goodness, you saved our town, and also you have a bear friend."
Yeah, I have a bear friend.
Yes, she got a bear friend.
Yeah, I'm filled with lots of dark magic now. I don't really know what to do with my feelings.
You've got a friend in bear.
I got to say that a young child such as yourself, filled with dark magic, seems a mighty powerful weapon. Perhaps you would like to stay here and help protect our town. I've been looking for a deputy.
Cookie, can I do that or no? I don't really know.
Well, you're far past the age where you should be gainfully employed in some type of occupation which could replace your first name. Frankly, just calling you Mabel. My name was Delilah, but now I'm Cookie because I found my way in the world.
Okay, so I'll just stay with them. Thanks, though.
Well, no, I think that maybe perhaps we can all stay here and guard this village and its strange folk on stilts.
As long as Bear Friend can stay with me.
It's debatable.
I'm always with you, Mabel.
Hey, bear friend.
What?
Hey, name's Carl. Are you like a manifestation of her opium addiction or what?
I don't know. I'm a bear friend. Also, Cookie, you're mean. Your stew's bad. Mabel doesn't like it.
Well, you all here, bear friend, try some of this new stew. It's made of the magic from which you are wrought.
And Bear Friend grew 3 sizes that day into just like a 20-foot tall bear now.
With
Tentacles.
Tiny little tentacles.
Yes,
for ears.
tiny little tentacles for ears. Whoa. Hey,
I'll never be cold at night again.
Oh, bear hug.
Oh.
Super cute.
Then the two massive, she grows even bigger, and like they wander off in the desert
Mabel
together.
also grows in size. Now you're like the size of a giant.
Oh my gosh.
And I'd like to, can I like dig out some sand and then ladle the wild magic into such a shape as to make her like a big spun glass, sugar glass deputy badge for her to wear.
Sure.
Yeah, out of pure sorcery. Well, for good or for ill, here's your new deputy badge. Rolled a 2
Oh my
to
god.
create this
That-
abomination.
It's just like as it passes through the air, like just tiny little bugs and like pieces of rope and random objects are spun out of existence from its very movement through matter and air and whatnot.
Oh, I've done created a device to destroy the fabric of reality.
It would appear so.
Remember that recipe.
And Carmine looks at you, Cookie, and he looks at you, Carl, and he looks way up at you, Mabel. He goes, well, I don't know about you, but mine is a traveling life. I'm meant for the trail, going town to town,
Bringing folks to other folks.
making a living.
Well, thank you for introducing us to these fine people, Carmine.
So that's it? You're going to settle down?
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, you going wherever they find snakes?
Yes, unless I get a heavy snake payment from Frothport. Sheriff Mayor.
Yeah.
How about some snakes?
Well, I mean, you can have the corpses of those snakes what you killed, I should say.
Perhaps touching some of this wild
Yes.
magic will necromantize
You
them.
read my mind, Cookie. So I dip the dead snakes in the magic.
They like grow up, but now they've actually it's like a cross snake. Like there are two heads and two tails joined at the very center of the snake.
Do you beat people to death with a snake tire iron? Yeah.
The snake is unholy. It must be destroyed. And I eat it.
Better than my cooking.
It was.
Wasn't cooked though.
Magic battered snake corpse.
And the Carmine says, well, I'm about to hit the dusty trail, heading off for another town not so full of wild magic.
It's less a dusty trail than it is a glass of path. Out here.
I suppose it's a figure of speech.
Well, I won't mind seeing the back of you, Carmichael, now that we've settled this debt twixt the two of us. I ain't never want to see your face anymore.
And because of what I just rolled on the Wild Magic Surge table, Carmine is transported to the astral plane. And he disappears from existence and goes,
Oh,
bye.
Oh, well, that was sudden.
I wonder where he went.
Probably somewhere nice and definitely not fatal. I don't know what the astral plane does to a person.
I think the astral plane is sort of like where spirits hang out. Hey, listeners, tweet to us. Tell us what the astral plane does. All right. So you guys are staying in the town then.
Yeah, well, we're here to become a force for good and order in the West.
As long as I've got Bear Friend with me, I'll go wherever he goes.
Done and done. I'm here.
I'm Bear. Get used to it.
I'm very large. It's hard for me to go places.
Hey, Bear Friend, you can protect this town from any bandits that may encroach upon it.
That's true.
So, you don't really need us anymore, do you?
I need Mabel.
That's true.
I need Bear Friend.
Well, I mean, you guys could leave, I suppose.
Well,
I suppose you could leave.
Well, I wouldn't leave before serving the town up a big old meal.
Oh, God, no! And on that note, we will end the Magnificent Four Dwarves
And
episode.
Bear Friend.
And Bear Friend.
Bear Friend.
Thank you all for listening. Next week we will be going back to the Kane Campaign Season 4 premiere, so get hype. Bye.